Well, January was eventful. So I've done these monthly rankings consistently since about September of last year, and I'll be honest, I want to switch it up a bit. Normally I do all the movies, theatrical or streaming, that I watch within the month. The only thing, they have to have released within the month. But I will admit, I have this thing where I've been trying to push more new content on this channel, and this leads me to believe maybe I should push these monthly rankings further. Such, I'm going to include the movies I watch within a month, and the games I played, and TV shows I watch. Thankfully, I don't watch much in terms of television outside of stupid reality TV, and occasionally, what's the word I'm thinking for? Oh yeah, fucking normal people shows. And because of how infrequently they release video games, those won't take much of the list. In total for January, we saw 8 movies, 4 TV shows, and 2 video games. 14 pieces of media for this media bro to talk about. And we're only in January, the month they notoriously dump movies off in. This is January 2025 Ranked.
You're the worst around. Everything's gonna bring you down.
Okay, so the worst thing I saw or played this month was at least a film in the category of so bad it's good. Most of the time, the worst movies I'd watch in a month were just bad. Nothing noteworthy. Hell, in the entirety of 2024, I only really watched one film that was so bad it was good, and that was Madame Web. For this, it's about the same situation. It's a bad movie and so far the worst of 2025, but I think that title will most definitely change. The fact this movie's biggest selling point was Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, this is bad. But it's so ludicrous and stupid, and I am glad I watched it, if not for the entertainment value. There's 2 future movies on this list that feel more like boring January releases, so I'm glad that we got one that, yes, was bad, but also very entertaining to watch, and was at least to say a surprise. And hey, give this director credit for being obviously a new director. He did alright with the actors he had. Does that say Mel Gibson? As in The Patriot, Braveheart, Lethal Company, Chicken Run, Ransom Mel Gibson? That makes total sense. Mel Gibson has had 5 other films before this, and while he has the ones that are clearly good movies, Braveheart, Hacksaw Ridge, and the ones that the jury remains out on, like Apocalypto and The Passion of the Christ, it is nice to see that he finally has a movie that's definitely bad, but only in a way Mel Gibson could make it bad. For that, it's the worst of January, but it certainly was worth a watch for how disastrous it gets.
Man does whatever man can.
God, the toxicity surrounding this series was a lot more interesting than the actual series. Starting as far back as seeing the animation for the series, many fans were turned off by the almost unfinished looking CG, which obviously was going for a comic book style, but more on that later. Then there was a look into the show, and obviously there's gonna be a lot of fans, no matter what show it is, that won't like a race swap. And yep, they race swapped Norman and Harry Osborn. See, I don't care because I don't bring politics into my reviews. That being said, this show is boring. It's good for kids, but I don't think there's much in this that will, really engage them. If you're, a hardcore Spider-Man fan, you probably won't get much out of this. The CG looks really unfinished. Clearly, they were trying to go for the CG, the kind of comic book look that the Spider-Verse films had. I'm going to explain to you exactly why that doesn't work for any other project except for Spider-Verse.
First of all, don't do that. Second of all, don't really do that. Don't do it. Don't do that again. Don't do it.
I mean, it's not awful. I just wasn't a big fan of it.
I'm Gerard Butler, and this is Scottish slang.
There was a Den of Thieves 1? Yeah, every time they show this trailer in theaters, I said the exact same thing to myself every time. With that, because AMC decided to fuck me, I didn't get to see Better Man and was left watching this garbage. This was my first theater watch of the year. It's not even a bad movie, just a totally dull film. Almost immediately I forgot about. Obviously similar to the first film. Apparently the first film came out in 2018. What took them so long, idiot? 5 years for this film just for it to be as forgettable as the first? Yep, I'm over it.
At BetMGM, everyone gets a welcome offer.
Yeah, another boring bad movie. Back in Action has one joke. Cameron Diaz back after 10 years. Jamie Foxx back after... Well, he didn't go away, but they're truly back in action. That line is funnier than anything in this film. Just a nothing Netflix action comedy. I mean, it is good to see Cameron Diaz back. I've missed her, but... it's just, nothing. Jamie Foxx saves it for me as he's trying to give anything for this flick. At the end of the day, it's not even awful, it just truly exists.
It was my wedding day. It was our wedding day.
On everyone's souls but mine, this is comedy of the year. Alright, so I definitely can't say this was an amazing comedy, but considering both Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon's careers in the past, this could have been worse. It's an inoffensive wedding comedy that occasionally gets a really good laugh. and especially considering the vast genre of wedding comedies and how The Proposal was the only good one, I think it's fair to say being inoffensive is better for this movie than it being memorably bad.
Please give me huggy wuggies. Ooh, woo.
Blumhouse already starting 2025 strong with a film leagues better than anything they released last year. Wolfman is absolutely nothing special. It purely exists, and you know what? It does that perfectly. It's not really scary, just incredibly mediocre. If you like the Wolfman story, it's fine, but really this is the shortest of the entries. I got nothing.
Hello, I'm Howie Mandel. Welcome to Deal or No Deal.
Alright, the supposed reality TV shows I allegedly watch. Yep, I'm a sucker for these stupid reality competitions, and the lesser of the two that came out in January was Deal or No Deal Island Season 2. Now, this show was a very stupid idea. What if we mix Deal or No Deal with Survivor? No joke, a big selling point for this show was the fact that the first season featured Boston Rob Mariano. No. Of all the people who became famous over Survivor, I'll argue I'm the most sick of seeing Boston Rob everywhere. I guess him being as charming as, well, dirt definitely puts him well in any situation. He was recently in the other reality show I watched this year, but I got bigger fish to fry. Season 2 features the return of the OG reality TV villain Dr. Will Kirby from Big Brother 2, alongside Parvati Shallow, who's just the queen of Survivor. I've not watched any Australian Survivor, so I have no idea who the other guy is, but he seems charming. He clearly won for a reason. So far, very similar to Season 1, with the exception that there's 3 obvious threats instead of just Boston Rob versus 11 people.
Professionals have standards.
Alright, the lesser of the 2 video games I played this month was Sniper Elite Resistance. This is only so low because I suck at this game. Hey, at least I admit it. I rank things off of how much I enjoy them. I can't enjoy a game I can't get past the first mission on. I also find it weird this game even exists when you consider Sniper Elite 5 came out only 3 years earlier, yet we have another Sniper Elite game that takes place within World War II. I just suck at stealth games, guys. I promise this probably won't be the worst game I play in the year, but for now, I'm not gonna go on. I'll look like a chode.
Dogman!
Yes, sir. Peak has arisen, baby. Dogman. I missed most of the bad guys short at the beginning because my theater forgot to unlock the door, so we were all just kind of standing out there for like 15 minutes. I mean, I saw the actual film, but it didn't look like Diane Foxton was in the short anyhow, so The film itself, oh my god, this felt like 5 hours. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, it just doesn't know how to pace itself. It feels like it goes way too fast, and yet it is very funny. Pete Davidson surprisingly works as Petey, and I find it cool that the director of the film is the voice of both Dogman and the officer. But I really thought the reason the Captain Underpants movie worked was because of the fast pacing and silly zany jokes. And yes, Captain Underpants had those, but it knew when to slow down, albeit it didn't do it much. But it felt like the film could take a break. That's my problem here. It didn't take a break. Maybe for 2 minutes total, and the rest is just throwing things at the wall hoping they stick. But this is very funny. I definitely say between this and the other animated film that dropped here in the US in January, we have a solid start to animation this year. The other game I picked up, of course, the one fucking nobody knows about, Micah and the Witch's Mountain, a very obscure yet very fun platformer following a young witch trainee named Micah, meeting a witch atop her mountain but getting pushed down the mountain and having to climb back up. She finds herself becoming a delivery girl for amazing deliveries. Okay, that's pretty clever. And that's kind of the game. You use the broom to deliver packages across the island and meet some pretty fun and cozy characters. The game is practically the simplest thing, but I give credit, it's very cozy and fun to play. I do think more hardcore gamers could get into Sniper Elite Resistance, but because I suck at that game, Micah and Witch's Mountain takes number 5.
The secret laboratory.
We found our mini cake bites.
What?
Okay, a TV show for, normal people. Severance Season 2 is a worthy successor to the first season. Although it's weird it took so long, I like seeing Adam Scott anywhere. Yes, even there. And I think it's just a clever idea. Fair to say, Apple TV Plus originals strike again.
That my best friend, she a real bad.
Now, I pretty much knew from the trailer that I was going to like one of them days. First of all, Keke Palmer, she's one of my favorites. But the humor was right up my alley, so I went to see it, and Pack It Up comedies in 2025, this is solid. To my surprise, I actually found SZA to be a solid comedic actor. I thought the way this was going to go was the way that most duo comedies work. One of them is very funny and has the best laughs in the movie. In this case, I thought that was going to be Keke. And the other is just not as funny and can't compare. But both of them work really well off each other. I mean it when I say Keke Palmer is just one of my favorite comedic actresses. She can almost make anything funny. If we could just pair her up with my other favorite comedic actress, Kate Micucci, we'd be set. The rest of it is exactly what you expect from a comedy like this. Definitely one of the funniest films of the month, and possibly of the year. To Taking silver is, hey, another one of those stupid fucking reality shows I watch. Okay, give credit to the Traitors. It goes way out of its comfort zone and delivers a crazy show in my opinion. This year we got season 3, but here's a quick rundown of the first 2 seasons. Season 1 was easily my least favorite season on account that one half of the cast was good, with the people we expect in a show about treachery and lying. Hi Ari, Leo, and Dick Jr. But the other half, the regular Joes, just dragged it down for me. That being said, season 2 made the choice of making the entire cast reality TV stars and Z-list celebrities, and it worked, man. The season was crazy and definitely my favorite. I think season 3 has potential, but it's just not finished yet, so I can't quite judge. With that, Traitor season 3 brings in Tony Vlachos, Jeremy Collins, Bob the Drag Queen, Danielle Reyes, Brittany Haynes, Boston Rob, goddammit. With that said, this cast is crazy and I can't wait to see how the rest of the season unfolds. Also, Alan Cumming is a peak host.
There he is! Fucking rock to the left!
Yep, taking number 1 is the first thing I watched this year. Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. This was a much needed return to form for Aardman. I wasn't too big on Early Man and I completely forgot Chicken Run 2 existed, so Vengeance Most Foul certainly was that return to form. Further proving you could just never ruin Wallace and Gromit, bringing Feathers McGruff in was a brilliant move considering this thing's design. He doesn't even do anything yet has that malicious intent in his eyes. And of course, it's Wallace and Gromit. You know exactly what you get when you sign up with these two. I do like that this film plays more with the relationship between Wallace and Gromit. Not that other films didn't highlight this, but I think this one specifically showcased how much each of them mean to each other. Aardman kicked the year off strong, and while some might consider this a 2024 film, it came on Netflix earlier this month, so I consider it a 2025 film, and the best film I've seen this year. Well, tune in next time as we go back to 2020.
Why would we do that?